Hey, what's up, DNC Performance? We are at the shop Saturday. Oh, what today's date is? August 13th. You see the Ranger sitting outside. We had a little issue with that. The front end was really low on it. And it settled like pretty much overnight to the point where at least the driver tire had rubbed. You can kind of, I think, maybe see, yeah, you can see it there. So we had to take the front end all back apart, take the stock coil springs. I cleaned them up real good, wiped them down, painted them black so they look good, and cut like probably 3/4 of a distance of a full coil, so it looked like a horseshoe kind of, and put it in there. And now the truck is sitting pretty level. It's hard to see. Truck's sitting pretty level, and it's much lower than it was originally. Especially these lower control arms are like 2-inch drop control arms, so they set the spring down 2 inches, so it's probably 3 inches lower in the front and a good 4 or 5 inches in the rear, whereas this is like a DJM 4.7 drop kit. The 2-inch drop springs, they don't work. I don't know why, but it is what it is. Truck's on the ground, ready to go. He's got to get in alignment. It's close, but it's not that great. What we are working on yesterday, I finished that and dragged this car over. This is Zach's Mustang, and it's been here far too long, obviously. Quick rundown on the car. It is pretty much a bone stock Gen 3 5.3. I had the block heads, crank rods, pistons. I had everything here. We put new bearings, new rings, file fit them for boost. We did a Tick Stage 3 turbo cam. Obviously, Tick double springs, hardened push rods. That's about it. And then on the driver's side, I used a stock manifold. I cut all the ugly ears off that I could. The back one you can't cut off because it's like a port. And then the passenger side, I had a header off of the Escalade. That is the driver's side header. It's like a shorty. So I built the entire turbo kit off those two pieces. I mean, pretty much everything up here is something I had here, minus the turbo, the Terminator X, the elbow for the throttle body, and the throttle body. Like all those things he bought. Snake Eater 1500 injectors, wires I had, coils I had, new fuel line, all PTFE fuel line. Regulator, picked it up from some guy selling a bunch of crap in his garage. Turbo 400, same dude. Super old first quarter stick. That is from my very first car that I ever bought, which was a 78 Malibu, like a Lando or something like that. I can't remember what it was. It was like the upper trim level of it. And that was when I was 15. That's 31 years old. Call it 30 years old. That shifter right there, that Hurst quarter stick, and it still works perfect. And so we threw that in there. The cable's in there. It's all hooked up. Yeah, I just kind of screwed up on this one, and it got put to the side. And then, you know, I'm an idiot sometimes and take on way more work than I can handle, but I try to make everybody happy, try to do everything I can for everybody. So this car is back over here. It's getting finished. It's close. To the alternator, which I've ordered. That's a truck spacing crank pulley. So I ordered like a Camaro crank pulley, a Camaro tensioner, and the ICT low mount alternator bracket, and I'm really hoping it works on this side. I'm not sure yet, and I really hope it works, because that would make life a little bit easier. I had started making a bracket and everything, but then the charge pipe kind of ran over the alternator, limited everything. I have a coolant reservoir. I capped off the radiator. That's where the cap used to be, so I cut it off, capped it with a plate, and I have like a reservoir that I am going to run probably like over in here. And then the lower port, I'm going to run to the back port on the water pump. And then I think the upper port, I will probably figure out something for that. I have to look. I can't remember. Believe that goes to the radiator. So I might have to add a port onto here. Not a big deal. But I'll look into that. I can't remember. 5-inch downpipe, which it's all stainless. That is a S400, I believe a 76 millimeter, but on a T6 housing. I don't remember all the specs on this. Dang it. And I don't see the stamp, so it's probably the inside of the housing. I think it's a 132. I don't fully remember what it is. Twin 50 millimeter wastegates. There is a blow-off valve off of one of my super old pipes down in there. It's a 50 millimeter blow-off valve. He grabbed so his old rear end that was in the car was actually bent really, really bad. So we picked up another Mustang rear end, and he threw a set of axles he had bought for his other rear end. So we threw those in there. What else? It is running the Holley Terminator X, which is mounted down there. You can see the lights on it. I just thought to clean everything up because I originally had it wired off of what I thought was the ECU power, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Well, it couldn't have been. Whatever. But it would shut off when the key was turned on. So now I pulled it out and I wired it to the coil, and you can see it turns on. Put the car in park, and then we get this intermittent freaking starter issue. So we have to come out here, which I think I know what it is. I think I'm not applying that yellow wire right there. I believe is the 12 volt power to go into the car. So I think in a sense I'm almost backfeeding the power, kind of. I don't know, maybe I have to look into it. Let's see. Come on. Huh. One time. Come on. So yeah, car pretty much fires right up. It runs fairly good for not having any kind of a tune on it. It pretty much just has like a bass tune that I threw in it. But fires right up. It runs good. Good oil pressure. It's like 60 pounds cold, I think. I don't remember what that said. I've run it a couple times today, but I think it's about 60 pounds cold. Stays right around 45 when it's warm. So today I did the radiator. Now it's fully mounted in there. I also like moved it behind the tabs, moves it back like a half an inch, just a little more clearance for the turbo. I filled in that. And then I did his seatbelt bar. Did something else too, but I can't remember. Basically, he bought a nice set of Race Quip 5-point harnesses. Not doing a cage at this point, so I took, that's like an 1.25 inch pipe, so it has like a 130, I want to say it's a 130 wall, 1.25 inch. It's like, I can't remember. Yeah, something like that, but it's a heavy duty steel pipe. And I tucked it behind the A-pillar and then welded it in. And this way, if we can mount the seat belts, and then they bolt into like the factory locations. But this way here, if we ever, when he decides to do a cage, we could just kind of cut the bar, notch it, reuse that bar if we wanted to, and then just cut the welds off the skin out there and get the little chunks off. So yeah, I got those all in. Trying to think. Oh, I bypassed the clutch switch. Car used to be a manual car. I took the clutch pedal out, and then you can kind of see the switch dangling. That's for the neutral safety off the shifter. Those 2 blue wires. So I need to reconnect them to the wires that were in the other side of the plug, because I originally thought that was the issue with that starter going, but I'd be willing to bet nope. Let's see, I don't know why it does this. I'm not sure why it does that, but you can see on the gauge it's reading really low, like just over 10 volts maybe, but on the Holly it's showing 13 volts. So that's where my suspicion of it's something to do with I'm not applying enough power into the vehicle, which, like I said, I believe is this wire here. I'm pretty sure this wire leads to all of these, which goes into the harness and up into the car. There's a bunch of them that I had found in here, which is another thing. I gotta clean this mess up. And well, well, see, that might be these wires here that I ran down with this wire and over to the battery. So now I almost think that wire is dead. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know, but it's just a occasional. It could be the ignition switch too. I'm not really sure. But anyways, that's kind of a complete rundown on the car, more or less. I'll be working on this week, starting Monday. A few things. I need to get the alternator, finish up the coolant system. I already have the upper hose here with like a fill, so that goes there. That come on. So that goes like that, and then I believe what I plan to do with this. See, I'm not 100% sure now on it. See, I can't remember if I was going to eliminate the inside of this cap to run the steam port to it. See, I'm not sure, because I still have to do the steam port, stupid cap. Or stupid person using the stupid cap. Yeah, it's the person. User error. But yeah, I got to run a steam port. Lower radiator hose. That reservoir. If I decide to use that reservoir, I may loop the water pump. Not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure. Oh boy. We got a little oil seep right there. So I'll probably have to throw a set of valve cover gaskets on it, which I believe I have a brand new set. Yeah, quick rundown. Progress on Zach's car. Moving along. Hoping by the end of this week, as long as everything goes the way it should go. Have to wire up the inputs, outputs. That's the other thing I have to do. Boost controller, all that good stuff. Fan. So I'll get all that done this week. The wiring probably only take me a couple hours to do, maybe half a day. And then, yeah, as long as I get this mount and everything, I'll fix that little oil leak there. See, it's a good thing. Good thing I'm sitting here running this. I don't see one on this side. That side should be good. So yeah, I'll fix the oil leak, get it fully operational under its own power, figure out the key thing, maybe it's just an ignition switch. But that's it for this video. Do me a favor, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified, leave me a comment. But other than that, have a good day.